The adverse impact of climate change on Ghana is far-reaching. It has led to drought, storms and flooding, tidal waves, high temperatures, lighting and air pollution. All this undermines socio-economic progress. To address these disasters, the Ghana Meteorological Agency, GMET, and its collaborators last year launched the Early Warning for All initiative, which aims to enhance the country's disaster preparedness and response capabilities through early warning systems. Besides, the month of March is the World Meteorological Awareness Month, which is used as a platform to educate the public about the threats of climate change. In the studio to do some discussion on the subject is the Director General of the Ghana Meteorological Agency, GMET, Dr. Eric Asuman. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my sister.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us in the studios.
Thank you for having me.
So first, tell us what this Early Warning for All initiative is all about.
So, in response to UN Secretary General's call for early warning for all by 2027, UN Secretary General identified 4 key global bodies to drive this initiative. And these bodies include United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction, looking at the risk knowledge, and then World Meteorological Organization, which have to look at monitoring, observation, forecasting for the early warning, and then International Telecommunication Union, focusing on communication and dissemination of the warnings, and then International Federation for Red Cross, representing the 4th pillar, dealing with preparedness and response. The objective is to ensure that early warning reaches every citizen in the world. Coming from this global level, in the country level, we have institutions that represent these global bodies. And so in 2023 COP, Ghana Meteorological Agency, in collaboration with EPA and the National Development Planning Commission, had a meeting with World Meteorological Organization and United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction and tried to find a way of having early warning for all launched in Ghana. Following from this meeting, there were a series of meetings that happened when we returned from COP28, and that culminated into a launch of early warning for all in October 2024. As part of the launch, there were a workshop, 2-day workshop, that looked at risk assessment analysis of Ghana when it comes to early warning for all, and then a roadmap to be developed. In fact, in that launch and this workshop, World Food Programme was tasked to coordinate the pillar leads in Ghana, representing these global pillars that I spoke about. So you come to Ghana, you have NADMO representing UNDR, and they have Ghana Meteorological Agency and the Hydro representing the WMO, the Pillar 2 in Ghana, and then you have NCA, National Communication Authority, representing International Telecommunication Union, and then Red Cross representing International Federation of Red Cross. With EPA, NDPC, and other stakeholders, coordinated by World Food Programme, we had this roadmap developed. In fact, today is the day that we had validation workshop for this roadmap to validate the document that has been developed and move to the level of its implementation in Ghana. And as I said, the objective is to ensure that early warning reaches every citizen. And Ghana has taken the giant stride, working with other collaborators to make sure that we get this thing done in Ghana.
So then I get the impression that this document, is it finalized already?
Yes, so we are finalizing this today, and after today, we will hand it over to Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, and then engage with the Ministry of Interior, which have NADMO under them, and other pillar leads to bring it to the government attention to say that this is a roadmap for implementing early warning for all initiative as initiated by UN Secretary General.
So I'm interested in this document because I want to know what are the main pillars, particularly when it comes to Ghana. What are the main themes in this document for Ghana? You talk about risk assessment. How do we intend to deal with, or after doing the assessment, what did you find out about Ghana? How do we intend to deal with issues like climate change, disasters when they should happen? What is contained in that document? You can just give us some briefs.
Exactly. So, as I said, during the launch, there were a 2-day workshop that looked at risk assessment, analysis of these pillars and the role they play when it comes to early warning for all and the gaps that they have to fix to enable them deliver on early warning for all in Ghana. And so when this analysis was done, that's where a roadmap is being developed to now address these gaps that has been identified. One major one that I can use as an example is when, like, Ghana Meteorological Agency come out with a warning, an alert. How does this warning get to every citizen in Ghana? There's something the WMO works on, which we have been trained, Ghana Meteorological Agency has been trained, called CAP, Common Alert Protocol. This alert, what it means is that when we generate any warning, it must move from the GMET to every citizen in various platforms. How do we do this? You need NCA, which work with the telcos and the media to support this process. And so GMET has been trained. We issue the alert, it goes to the global system. You can find it on our website. We are piloting it, but you don't know about it because it hasn't gotten to the media yet.
Exactly. I was going to come to that because, you know, when you go to other countries, when there's an alert, it pops up on your phone and then you're able to tell that there's something happening, so you need to be cautious.
Exactly. So that was a gap identified. Now these pillars have to work together. So NCA is in the picture as pillar 3, who is going to work with GMET, who will generate the alert. So the platform that GMET needs to get the alert to the telcos, to the media, to everybody, NCA will provide that platform, and that will link the information to everyone. And that's what is going to be done. And then the logistics that are required for the institution to be able to perform has also been identified. It becomes a framework that will guide resource mobilization. And so if any of this institution is trying to even write a proposal, there's a national document which will be the basis to address a gap to help achieve this UN Secretary General objective, which will save life and property when it comes to disaster with respect to weather, water, and climate issues.
But are there any timelines with regard to this document that we think that around this period it should be workable, it should be implemented, or it should be implementable?
Yeah, so Ghana is even moving very fast. When we launched it at the time, the minister at the time tasked the team to use 2 weeks to develop the roadmap. In fact, within the 2 weeks, we were able to come out with a draft. And fortunately, our current minister, Honorable Sam George, last Monday tasked GMET and NCA to make sure that this alert that I spoke about is implemented immediately. So it's a very important exercise, especially these 2 institutions come under his responsibility to get this thing done. In fact, UN Secretary General target is 2027. By 2027, early warning for us will reach every citizen. We have left with just about 2 years to finish that. But we are moving fast to ensure that we'll be implementing these strategies to ensure that everybody gets it. If you get this CAP system working, straight away, we've achieved a very long, huge milestone, which both ministers and the current minister is taxing us to do in a very short time. Give ourselves a month or 2, you'll start seeing the pilot happening when the rainfall is about setting in, and when there's any significant weather and warning start popping up on our systems.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about the Meteorological Awareness Month, but before that, let me just remind our viewers that GTV Main would go back to Parliament and take the vetting of deputy ministerial nominees, but the news is still live on GBC News. So GTV is going to Parliament, but the news continues on GBC News. Now, back to Dr. Asuman. Now, Meteorological Awareness Month. What do you intend to look at? What's the theme? What are the activities lined up to get people aware, to make people know what the Meteorological Awareness Month is all about?
Thank you very much. On 23rd of March every year, World Meteorological Organization has set it up as World Meteorological Day. Ghana, we realizing that awareness of weather and climate services is very limited, decided to turn this one-day celebration to an awareness month. And so for the past 2 years, we launched it, and we are in our 3rd year, where from 1st March to end of March, we focus on weather and climate services to create awareness. So that's why we've termed it Meteorological Awareness Month. This year, the Real Day celebration team is bridging the gap for early warning for all. So we have to bridge the gap for everybody to have access to early warning for all. And so that becomes a theme for us. But then we are going to do a lot of programs around this. We are launching it on the 3rd of March with our seasonal forecast. The rain is about to start. And so we have to come out with a seasonal forecast and tell Ghanaians when the rain is going to start, when the rain is going to cease, cessation of the rainfall, the dry spells that you are expecting during the rainy season, and cumulative rainfall that we should expect. And that will be launched with the Awareness Month and create a lot of conversation around it and bring it to attention of people so that they can use that information in taking their decision. We've also come out with State of Climate Report. In fact, our act mandates us to provide meteorological advice to government. And so State of Climate Report look at last year, 2024, major climate and weather event that happened, develop a report and give it to government. We will launch it alongside with this seasonal forecast. And then from there, engage eminent citizens, bringing this to their notice and hope that they will become ambassadors of this important two documents. And then this year, one significant issue about our awareness month is to, we said bridging the gap. So we are looking at how we bring in the physically challenged people on the climate and weather conversation and how they can receive the weather information and also get themselves prepared when there's any extreme weather event to protect their life and property.
What about those in the hinterlands, apart from the physically challenged, where are those in the hinterlands who in some communities do not have access to even good quality internet, even ordinary network for calls is a challenge. How do you get to them, considering what you are going to create awareness about?
Very important, especially with the seasonal forecast.
Exactly.
We spoke about the people who are
farmers
who don't have enough, and they are doing small farming, who needs the weather information to know when it's going to rain, when it's not going to rain, when to plant, and what to expect during the season. And so over the years, when we come out with a seasonal forecast, we just do a press conference and then that's it, because the resources was not too much available for us to go to the field. Fortunately now, the resources finances has improved a little. Our plan is that after launching it with this euphoria around it during this month, we will go to the community level. We have our offices at least in about 22 of the districts and 10 of the regions in the country, which is still not enough. But we are going to collaborate with the Ministry of Agri Extension officers to be able to send this message to the local levels so that they can access it and use it for their decision making.
Okay, finally, before you leave, are we expecting more rains this year?
I'm launching that one on Monday.
So I'll have to come to the program on Monday.
I'm using this to invite you.
But you can just give us a hint, so that it gingers us up to come for the program.
Yes, especially what we are going to do on Monday is actually going to focus on even the southern sector. Ghana have two raining patterns. I mean, the country is, we have the northern sector, we have the southern sector. And so the southern sector is what we are coming with it now. And the northern sector rainfall starts around May, and the southern sector around March. But I'll still push you to come. If I tell you today you have a gist of it, you will not be there. And so Monday you are invited. You are invited to University of Ghana, where we are going to launch this seasonal forecast and then do a detailed presentation. After that,
but is it good news? Is it good news or is it bad news?
Definitely.
It's good news.
Yes.
There's more. That means there will be more rains. I mean, this is good news. Well, thank you so much, Doc, for your time. That's Dr. Asuman. He's with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. In fact, he's the boss of the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Now, let's move on to some other stories. The Noguchi Memorial